All right. And welcome back to Butter With That, but this time in a slightly different format. We are coming together in an online Zoom meeting because of quarantining. Yay!
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually kind of excited to try this. Yay! We're all meeting together online for the first time because we still want to, deliver content. We'll give it a test run and see how it goes. And if this works well, then we'll hopefully not have to do this for a very long. But who knows? Maybe this will be what we have to do for a little bit. It's been a while since This is just it. This is like the Wall-E universe. We're all in chairs, looking at video screens of each other, riding around.
Oh God, it is.
It is. Yeah.
And the ship we fly on has been bankrolled by Zoom, the now wealthiest corporation in America. How's everybody doing? I haven't seen any of you in such a long time.
Not doing much.
Nice.
On the flip side of that, doing so much. It's nice being able to work from home and being fortunate enough to still have a job, but it's also really unfortunate when your boss decides that you are the one who's going to get all of these jobs, all of them, every single one of them, and you don't have enough hours in your day to do them.
At least you get to be with your cat.
True, she's right over here. Hold on. Oh my God, people can see her now. Here she is.
Oh.
Oh my God, could we compare and contrast Phoebe and Gisli? Is that a thing?
Gisli is not present. I mean, he's here. He's like in some closet right now.
Oh, okay.
So weird. I think it was at first like, oh yay, you're around all the time, and now it's like he's like avoiding.
You're around all the time.
Yeah, like
cats are getting confused. Yeah, it's definitely weird for them.
My dogs are definitely thrilled that we're all here. We've been watching Alyssa's sister's dog, Denzel, for a while. And he's such a big boy. He's a sweet boy. And so all three of them, Tony, Sage, Denzel, have all been playing like nonstop pretty much for 2 months now. So they're thrilled we're home. I don't know if Sage is, but Tony and Denzel definitely are.
Have you seen the posts online that are like, dogs are having the best month of their life?
Has anybody watched anything now that there's theoretically so much time to watch things? Anything, movies that you've knocked out of your list or stuff you wanted to watch or shows you started binging?
I finally saw RoboCop for the first time.
Nice.
Oh, how'd it go?
It was great. It was so insane. And then Garrett was like, oh, by the way, I think there's like an X-rated cut. And I was like, well, I have to see that now. Like, this was already so bloody and insane. Like, I need to know what that's like. But yeah, it was, I think that the director, am I forgetting his name right now?
Paul Verhoeven, right?
Verhoeven, yeah. All of his movies are just so interesting, like with like authority and like corporations and even just like masculinity. It's like pretty interesting. I am excited to watch more of his movies.
Have you seen Total Recall?
Yeah, I love Total Recall.
Oh, nice.
I watched that for the first time last year. But yeah, it's like, we also watched two Peter, what's his last name? The guy that acts in it too. Is it Sellers? No. We watched a different movie with Peter Sellers. Weathers. Yeah. We watched some underwater like alien ripoff movie that he was in, which was really weird too. So we watched both of those last week. Yeah.
Ooh, wait, is it the new underwater alien ripoff movie?
No, it's like another 80s one. Leviathan.
Because Twilight, what's her face?
Kristen Stewart has
Kristen
one.
Stewart
Underwater
has one that's was reviewed as like, this is basically Alien under the sea.
I kind of want to see it.
It looks pretty.
I heard it was like pretty decent.
It just like disappeared though. It was like, hey, this is a movie. Bye.
Yeah.
What I like to call a "fuck you, it's January" movie.
Yeah.
The time of year where the studio just throws whatever garbage they think's not going to sell right into that month.
Sure.
Anybody else watch anything compelling, interesting, what they want to share out?
I watched 1917 and I really loved it. So I didn't really know anything about it other than like World War One. But the fact that it was meant to be like two continuous shots, I don't think I realized that until like 5 minutes in. I was like, is this like one shot? And I know that it's not. I know it's like 34 seamless cuts, but like, holy shit, it is amazing. And then I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen it, but one of the things that happens kind of midway through, completely surprised. I couldn't believe, and it happened so quick. But that's all I'll say. Outside of that, though, I watched a classic Cinderella Story because it's now on Netflix. So please watch that. It does not hold up, but it's still, if you like it, it's still good. And I've also started at like 10 o'clock last night, the Medici Masters of Florence. I have no opinion on it so far. It's fine. And then Tiger King.
Yes.
Tiger King. Dave, you were watching that too, right?
I was. That's obviously the show that has taken the nation by storm in the midst of this crisis. Everybody watching it on Netflix, seemingly. Pretty wild. Connor, have you seen all of it yet?
So we started the first episode. We watched the first episode last night.
Oh, okay.
So definitely hooked. We're probably going to watch another one or two tonight during dinner. Yeah, Joe Exotic, what a guy. Maybe that's what our quarantine episodes are going to be about, breaking down Tiger King episode by episode.
I haven't watched it, but people have been bringing it up so much that it somehow got into my dreams the other night. And I was like, I don't even know these people. Like, why am I dreaming about them? What the fuck?
That's some good marketing.
Yeah.
I like to imagine that Netflix was just waiting for some kind of global pandemic or quarantine, or for some reason that everybody has to stay home just to drop a, multi-series documentary.
This is what the people have waited for.
The timing is fascinating.
Netflix was just with tinted fingers, just in January. Wait.
This is how we can make all of our money back.
So I watched a movie recently that I absolutely loved, and it is kind of interesting, a movie to watch in this time. It's called Leave No Trace, directed by Deborah Granick, who did Winter's Bone. And it's about a father and his daughter who live in the middle of a forest in Oregon, like off the grid. And then, well, I won't give any spoilers, but it's basically about their relationship and about this community of vets who in real life, it's based on a true story, people that live off the grid, especially in parts of Oregon and Washington. And it is so good. Cried like the whole movie. But I highly, highly recommend. It may be intense. It's definitely not like escapist, but it's filmed so beautifully. It's got Ben Foster, and the actress who plays the daughter apparently was in Jojo Rabbit. Thomasin McKenzie.
Oh.
I don't know. I didn't see Jojo Rabbit, but she's like going to be the next, I'm convinced, just from this movie, she's going to be the next big thing. So I highly recommend that you watch it. It's on Amazon.
Cool.
Nice.
And you can learn all of the tricks. If we have to all live off the grid, you invert a poncho, you flip a poncho inside out, you hang it, string it among several trees, and then you let the rainwater fall into the hood of the poncho, and then you drink the water from the hood. Guys.
Genius.
Wow.
I think we're ready.
I don't have a poncho.
Yeah, right.
Go
buy a poncho now. Nobody's buying ponchos right now, so
yeah,
I think we'll be able to stop that.
Not yet. Yeah.
Awesome. Go ahead, Dave.
I guess we'll be returning to, I guess, a few that we'd recommend or that we'd watched, I guess, over about any time, and really particularly right now.
no, Dave.
is a film called Microcosmos. It's a documentary that's
Oh no.
Should we do
Dave?
cutting out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This will be our cutting out sign.
Oh wait.
How
Back.
are we doing right now?
No.
no.
Oh. Oh no.
Technology. Dave, you with us?
It's kind of a cool effect. Oh,
It was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Hi.
okay. Perfect.
You're back.
Are we good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. One to watch right now for folks that are stuck inside and who are anxious about it and who need like a little nature in their lives. I would recommend Microcosmos, which I think might be on Netflix, but is just like around. It's a documentary that is absent narration and is just like footage of insects, but like on like with like really tremendous coverage and like some really great cameras. So it almost looks like safari footage, but insects. So it's some truly incredible stuff and really shifts perspective and helps you think about and appreciate nature. So would recommend that one.
Cool.
That
Nice.
sounds great.
Yeah.
I finally saw it chapter 2 during the beginning of quarantine.
What'd you think of it?
I thought it was fine.
Yeah.
There are funny parts.
Yeah, a great cast that is just the whole movie just kind of feels like a wild goose chase. So
Well,
there's
that-
parts where it's like everyone's like running around finding different things. I really liked how they connected to the kids from the first movie and like how they kind of intersplice going back to the past. Bill Skarsgård's great as Pennywise. I thought the adult cast was great. Jessica Chastain, Bill Hader, James McAvoy, all them. But yeah, it was just like, yeah, the first one was better. The kids are
Yeah.
just kind of more compelling.
How did you watch it?
Just rented it on Amazon.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't think it's streaming anywhere yet.
I was meaning to ask Sam, how did you find 1917?
I rented it.
Okay, cool.
Sorry.
No. So it's available because I looked for it for rent, like I think a couple weeks ago, and it wasn't there.
Yeah. It was no, it was more expensive than a regular rental. It was like $5.99, but whatever, I wanted to see it.
Yeah, I think all I saw was like the buy the preview, which I still don't understand what the point of that is. You pay more to wait to see it. I don't know.
Pre-ordering the movie.
I don't. Whatever.
Weird.
Did anybody see? This is tying nicely the like Amazon Cinema quote unquote branding that they've been doing with like the Invisible Man, The Hunt. Yeah, so I guess Amazon got the streaming rights to a lot of like Invisible Man just came out just a couple weeks ago, but you can already buy it for like $20 on Amazon to watch it. Same with The Hunt, The Turning that came out with Wolfhard in January. So there's like a new label that you can find on their videos called Amazon Cinema. So I wonder if coronavirus, when we're into the summer or fall, if some movies would just go straight to digital and have a theatrical release as well. That would be an interesting side effect of this giving, movie companies and Amazon, Netflix the opportunity to bring movies to homes, even though they just came out in theaters. Be interesting if that's the way that barrier is finally broken.
One cool thing is that our friend Andy told us today that the Philadelphia Film Society is like kind of doing a thing where you can like rent movies that they would have been playing in the city right now. So a couple of the ones that are on there are 2 movies that I saw at the film festival in the fall. So Bacurau, which is a Brazilian film that was really good. And then Wild Goose Lake, which was like a Chinese neo-noir. So it's like a cool way too to like also be supporting like local institutions and like watching movies from home. So that's like definitely a worthwhile thing to check out right now.
That's good to know because I feel like big budget movies are going to have platforms like on Netflix, Amazon, but smaller indie movies or international films that might not get those kinds of release. That's good to know that that they're getting platforms for releases too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's interesting to think about all these sort of unintentional side effects that have come from quarantining from this coronavirus. All of us being in Philly, it kind of feels like the whole city has shut down. So trying to find ways, definitely I'm trying to find ways to support like local businesses and restaurants. We just bought a few books from our friend Christine and Alex at A Novel Idea. Did curbside pickup for some books.
Misty just texted me to let me know that apparently the governor's like his newest like statement means that they're closed until April 30th. So yeah, if you can support local businesses like A Novel Idea, you should definitely do that. Yeah.
And they have their entire inventory online, which is pretty cool to check out.
Ooh, that's
Which
awesome.
I have been helping with.
Woo!
Oh, nice.
Awesome. So I figured one good way to sort of bring butter with that back, but digitally, is to sort of make a recommendation list for our listeners for movies that we think that they should be watching during this quarantine time. These can be films that maybe just came out, or older ones, heartwarming ones, intense ones, just movies that I kind of feel like, I picked 3 that I just think are a good way to spend a week watching a few movies. So I thought we could just do that for the rest of the episode, and then we can like publish that list on Instagram and whatnot for folks to check out. So the first one that I wanted to put up there was Detective Pikachu. This is a movie we've talked about a little bit, and watching it in theaters, I could tell right away that this is going to be one of my new comfort movies. It's on HBO right now, so that's another reason why I picked it. So if you have an HBO account, you can go watch it right now and watch Ryan Reynolds be a very cute Detective Pikachu and all the other sort of adorable Pokemon.
Bulbasaur.
Oh, gorgeous.
I really hope that they make a sequel.
Me too.
I feel like I haven't heard much about that at all, but I feel like a sequel to that definitely deserved. Another movie, the second one that I wanted to recommend, is one that I just watched about a week ago, and that was Blow the Man Down.
Did you like it?
I really liked it.
Yay! I love that movie.
It's one of my favorite movies that I've seen in a while. It was a first-time directors, right?
Yeah, 2 first-time female directors. Yeah.
So it's about these 2 sisters who live in coastal Maine. They run a fish business. One of the sisters comes back from college to help take care of their dying mom. Their mom passes away, and then these 2 sisters are sort of left confronting with what they want to do with the rest of their lives, all while being embroiled in this true crime kind of story that plays out. Yeah,
and it's all like female characters that like run this town. It's so cool.
The old ladies that are in it, there's like this clique of old ladies. Annette O'Toole is one of them. They just run the town, and they are just so good.
The barber shop scene with them is amazing.
And that's streaming on Amazon right now. So you can go watch that, right after you listen to this if you want. Highly recommend it. Definitely one of my favorite movies I've seen in a while. And then the final movie I want to put out there, I love me a good sports movie, and probably my favorite one is Remember the Titans with Denzel Washington. Streaming on Disney Plus, and I also own it on DVD. I haven't seen this movie in a while, so as I was coming up with this list, I was like, ooh, that should be one that I should put on in the next day or 2. Makes me cry every time. Like I said, love a good sports movie. And Remember the Titans is definitely top tier for me in terms of sports movies.
And the soundtrack is so good. It's so good.
Awesome. Anybody else have any other movies that they want to kind of add to our recommendation list?
I can mention mine. So I definitely feel like certain genres have been like jumping out at me recently, but like it all seems like stuff that kind of is just like things that transport you to like another place, like so a lot of the stuff that I think is like cool to watch right now is stuff that is like just very detached from everything that's happening now. So one of the ones I want to recommend is on Hulu, and I just saw it in theaters before all this happened, but it's called Portrait of a Lady on Fire, and it is absolutely gorgeous and phenomenal. It's like period drama, like romance in France, and it's really, really wonderful. Like it looks impeccable. the two leads in it are really amazing. It's another like female-led, like amazing story. It ties in like Greek mythology into this like love story. There's art, there's singing, they're on like this remote beach. Like it's all wonderful. And it made me like cry my eyes out, but it's just really, really good and you should watch it. A couple of my friends, our friends, like Alana and our friend Margaret, saw it like this past week and really loved it, which was cool. In a different vein, one of the first things that Garrett and I watched when quarantine started was Speed Racer.
Oh yeah.
I fucking love Speed Racer so much. It is a ridiculous movie, but it is like really fun and like just like doesn't miss a beat. Like it's one of the craziest movies I've ever seen. Like the editing of it, the colors, the acting's over the top and zany. But the cast is all like really going for it and it's just like so much fun. And like perfect like comfort, like, you know, working from home, we've seen it a bunch, so like I can kind of like half pay attention and like half just like do other stuff, which is like kind of nice right now. And then, yeah, I don't know what another one I would want to recommend really is, but I watched Lord of the Rings because it's on stuff. Put the Two Towers on while I was working from home the other day, and that's like very entertaining. And if you are a nerd like me who knows all of the words to the Lord of the Rings movies, then really I'm just like typing and like quoting like Theoden like as I'm doing stuff. So that's really fun for me.
I wonder if this is the time that I finally watch the extended trilogy because I've never done that. I've seen all three, but I've never seen the extended versions.
I feel
We
like
all got time,
now
man.
is yeah.
Yeah.
Now is
Seize the moment.
Cool. Thanks, Tori. Any other recommendations to put out there for listeners?
I can go. So I have two different groups. One are movies that I consider comfort movies, and then the other ones are stuff that haven't come out yet or I haven't seen yet that I've got my eyes on. So for my comfort movies, these are movies that I just, every time I watch it, I feel like a great big hug. So I've talked about this before, how when I'm depressed, I just watch this movie over and over again. What's Your Number? Classic, very funny. Beetlejuice, a favorite. Princess Diaries, I actually just rewatched this one. So funny. I mean, I knew that, but like it is still so funny and it does really hold up. The Mummy and then Captain America, the First Avenger. Those are the classics, just a really big hug by. And then stuff that I have either seen or I'm like looking toward watching eventually. The Duff, I've seen this before. It's actually a comedy movie that I enjoy. I would recommend. It's pretty good. Mae Whitman, she's awesome. And Defending Jacob, which is going to come out, I think, April 24th on Apple TV, starring Chris Evans. Looks great. Did you guys see the trailer?
Mm-mm.
No.
Looks very good. I recommend. And I do want to see The Invisible Man. I think you can rent it for like $20, which is like kind of steep if you're one person. But I think my roommates and I are going to watch it tomorrow, so let's go to bed.
Cool.
It's real good.
Sam, today I watched a video of Chris Evans drunk at like the Age of Ultron premiere.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Isn't he the best?
It was great.
It was so charming. Apparently, like Garrett likes Doug Loves Movies podcast, and he like was like really drunk on an episode, and it sounds like it was hilarious. And I just like need to listen to it.
He's just the best.
He's so charming, like all the time.
I also didn't know he had such a charming brother. I saw an interview with him and his brother, and they're such a
I didn't know he had a brother.
great pair.
I don't know if you all have Twitter. I know almost everyone here has an Instagram. Christine, you have an Instagram now.
Come on,
but both of them
resurrected from the dead.
From the dead. But they've both been posting stuff, and it is quality content.
Yeah.
I barely
have to
felt
follow
quarantine
them
because I've just been getting all of that. Just kidding. I wanted to die every day.
Oh no. I can go. A couple thoughts. I was very curious to figure out what would be my comfort movies. I sort of like, before a period of crisis and sadness that this is right now, I probably would have picked other movies that I would think are my comfort movies. But now that I had like a one night where I was feeling particularly like overwhelmed and down, and I was like, what am I gonna watch that's really gonna like get me to the place I need to be? And surprise, but kind of no surprise, I ended up watching the 2005 Pride and Prejudice starring Keira Knightley. And I know everyone has different feelings about that version or about Jane Austen period pieces in general, which is totally valid. But I would happily argue with anyone outside of this context why this movie is a wonderful adaptation and, in my opinion, is amazing. Tori,
Perfect.
Tori,
No.
I know you
No, I have watched it several times. It's like the Diet Coke version of Pride and Prejudice to me. So it's like, if I have the time, I'm gonna take the time and watch the miniseries because I love it so much and it has my heart. But like, I can still get like, a little bit of the juice from watching the 2005 one.
Just none of the caffeine.
It's entertaining. Yeah, exactly.
have that battle outside of butter with that.
Yeah,
but I
yeah,
will
fair.
say that rewatching it is Joe Wright has such an eye for, like, I have enjoyed all like his other films, but this one is shot so well. I would argue that the miniseries has maybe more depth through dialogue because it's longer. I think it definitely you sit with the characters more, but just for comfort and to be swept away to a different, the dancing scenes, so beautiful. When Matthew McFadden is walking through the misty, like, morning farm, and he's like, "You have bewitched me, body and soul." It's like, oh, be still my heart. So yeah, I was like, this, I would not maybe have admitted it before this crisis period, but that is definitely the movie that was bringing me the most comfort when I needed it. I would also like to say that I finally watched The Mandalorian, which was a great comfort show.
Cool.
Enjoyed it a lot. I know nothing about the Star Wars universe, but I thoroughly enjoyed Mando as a character. And maybe I was texting Connor, I don't know, but the fact that his weapon of choice is basically the Spear of Longinus. Now, I know that it's like different universes, but I was like, this looks so familiar. And I don't know, I looked up fan theories, but nothing really was coming up if there was any secret crossover. But yeah, I think that those brought me a lot of comfort. I was welcomed into a new universe and then welcomed back into an old universe. For one more thing is that as far as movies that have been disrupted because of the whole pandemic situation, I was so excited to see Kelly Reichardt's movie First Cow. Now, for listeners out there who don't know who Kelly Reichardt is, she's a very contentious person and topic on Butter with It. She helped create, I think, Scott Off, either the best or worst movie ever made. But First Cow was getting a lot of buzz, like objectively so. A lot of reviewers were talking about it. I think this was going to be a movie that really like widened her audience because it was going to be distributed by A24. I think this is her first movie through A24, and it was like going to be a really big deal. And so it has been shelved till the fall. So
that sucks.
There goes that.
Oh gosh, what will we do?
So I know, right? Lost forever for Nolan.
The anticipation is just building.
Yeah, maybe me. Yeah, I don't know, but I was very sad to see that because I was super excited to see, because I think Landmark, the Ritzes were going to play it like now, and I was going to go see it. But anyhow, that's my 2 cents.
It's kind of crazy to see, just a quick tangent, how every single movie has just been moved months and months ahead. One that I thought was the funniest one was probably the New Mutants, that X-Men movie, is delayed yet again. That movie started filming a year before Thor Ragnarok started filming.
Good God.
Jeez.
So that's how long this movie has been in production. And so they got within a week or two of it coming out, and then, because it was supposed to come out on Friday, and then now it's indefinitely delayed, probably sometime in the
That movie's
fall.
cursed. Like,
It's like the man who shot Don Quixote or whatever it is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Disney should just dump that onto Hulu and just be done with it.
Honestly.
Yeah.
It would probably get better reviews if it's just on Hulu.
I mean, I was supposed to see A Quiet Place like a day or two before the quarantine was like really going into effect, and then they just straight up canceled my preview screening of it, which like sucks. Like, I'm excited to see it whenever it comes out. But on that note, it's also really cute that like John Krasinski right now is doing his own little like good news like broadcast from his home. Yeah, it's really adorable, and it's just all good news of stuff that's going on. And he and Steve Carell, like guested on it, like on his first episode. And what is the anniversary? Is it 15 years since The Office? Yeah. So they were just like reminiscing and like tearing up, talking to each other. It was really adorable.
I feel like Steve Carell got so old from just 15 years ago. Because John Krasinski, he looks older, but Steve Carell's like Silver Fox. Like, he looks so much older.
I noticed something too. If you watch it, in the background of Steve Carell's home, there's a picture behind him, and it is a picture of Paul Rudd from Anchorman with like the crazy mustache. It's amazing.
That's great.
Any other films that we want to add to the list to put out to our lovely listeners?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, I guess I had like kind of two categories as well. Two of which I would recommend to anybody, and would recommend that if you'd like them, you go back and listen to our episodes on them. My two comfort movies would be The Secret of Nim, which is, as I understand it, maybe not streaming anywhere. You can rent it for pretty cheap. And also, of course, my old standby, the movie I've seen the most and has gotten me through a lot of crazy and hard times. That would be Fargo, from 1996, which I believe is currently streaming on Hulu, if you have a subscription to that. So I always love those two. They're always really good standbys to pass the time. But I also did use this as an opportunity to kind of catch up on some more challenging and lengthier films, not the least of which would be, and I would recommend them both if you can find them, Apocalypse Now, the Redux version from 2001, that a version of, or a take on the original from 1979, but adds 49 minutes to the original film, so it gives you a total of 3 hours and 23 minutes, which is pretty intense. Francis Ford Coppola directed film with Martin Sheen, Marlon Brando, Dennis Hopper, Robert Duvall, and Lawrence Fishburne, who at the time was only 14. But a tremendous film nonetheless, and really, really one to check out. I would recommend it. I also tried Satan Tango, which is a Bela Tarr film from 1994 based on the novel by Laszlo Krasznahorkai. The film is 7 hours and 30 minutes.
Too long.
It is
too long.
It is all black and white.
If we can watch miniseries, we can watch a 7.5 hour
Yeah.
movie. Break it up into little chunks.
Well, here's the thing about that. It is suggested it not be watched without interruption, which I did. And shots on average last a total of 2.5 minutes, with the film's longest shot being a single take lasting 10 minutes and 14 seconds.
Wow.
So it was tremendously impressive, but completely exhausting. And that one is almost impossible to find. That one I had to like scour the internet for like a download for, but It just got a 4K restoration last year. So hopefully there'll be a Blu-ray release soon, or like some sort of streaming copy of it available. Because though it is a difficult watch, not only because of its length, but because of some of its content, pretty incredible. So would recommend that also.
Awesome. Well, I think that's a pretty comprehensive and diverse list of films. Definitely some I want to check out that I haven't seen. Cool. Well, thank you so much for joining us on this kind of little trying out an online episode of Butter with That, a little shorter than kind of what we normally do. Anything else anybody kind of wants to add before we start to sign off?
The one thing that we have been watching, which has kind of been fun, we bought a DVD collection of 6 different Hammer horror movies, and I've never seen any of the Hammer horror movies. So they all have like Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee, and they're all thoroughly entertaining. They're a lot of fun, very different than the like Universal monster movies, but Peter Cushing was like kind of a babe back in the day, so I'm thoroughly enjoying watching these movies.
What does Hammer horror like mean?
So Hammer was a production company, and they
Got
might
it.
still be around because they also, I think they came back years later and produced the Women in Black movie with Daniel Radcliffe. But they were known for doing like Frankenstein's and Dracula's and a mummy movie. So it's like really similar to like the Universal monster movies, but like they do a pretty different take on a lot of them, which has been pretty cool to see. Like Frankenstein in the one we saw was like outright like an evil, like horrible dude, which is like pretty cool. So those are just like fun to check out if you can.
One of the scaredest I ever was reading the play script for The Man in Black, because it was a play, like the longest running play on the West End. And reading that, I was doing it for an internship. It was absolutely terrifying just reading the script. So I can't imagine what scene the play is. Yeah.
I have another well, just because I think my Pride and Prejudice was not necessarily a recommendation, because you know everyone has their own relationship with that whole genre, which is fair. So I wouldn't say go out and watch it. But I did listen to the We Hate Movies episode of Ferris Bueller, or no, We Love Movies episode of Ferris Bueller's Day Off. And I was like, I wonder whether, like, I hadn't seen it in so long. I wonder what's up. It was fun to listen to the episode and then watch it. I would say that is a great comfort movie that's so much fun to watch, and it really holds up. And after watching Succession, watching the actor who plays Cameron Fry, it's just, he's so much, he to me is like the standout character, more so than Matthew Broderick. But anyhow.
When I got older, I realized I was more attracted to Cam than I was to Ferris. And I was like, oh, because like Ferris is like kind of like a pain in the ass. Like
he's an asshole. He's
an asshole. And Cam has this like beautiful moment of growth in the movie, and he's like really like nice and adorable and just kind of gets pushed around. Yeah.
The scene when they're in the the art gallery, and then it just focuses in on the Seurat painting, and it's just so beautiful, so beautiful. So that I would say is a great comfort movie. Would be my rec. Yeah.
I haven't seen that movie in so long.
Rewatch it. Yeah, I really think it's a really fun rewatch.
Yeah. Holds up, yeah. Right, I would say really quickly, just stay safe. And if you can, stay indoors.
Yeah.
Yes. Also, just to plug Cinema 76, because even though there aren't a ton of movies out right now, we're still trying to write some stuff. And every week we're doing like kind of similarly just our suggestions of stuff that's on streaming. And so every week we pick like a genre. So this week we did romance films, and we each picked one to recommend. I recommended Miss Pettigrew Lives for a Day because that's a very adorable movie if you've never seen it before. But then I also have 2 reviews coming out this week. One for a movie that is currently available to rent on Amazon, which is called Scream Queen, My Nightmare on Elm Street, and it's about the man Mark, who I forget his last name, who was the star of the second Nightmare on Elm Street movie.
Ooh.
Which has like kind of a checkered history to it, and then he
Yeah.
kind of fell off the map. But it actually ends up being like a really beautiful, like empowering kind of story for him. So I definitely suggest checking out that documentary if you can.
That sounds really up my alley. Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. We enjoyed it a lot.
I also want to give a shout out to our other 80 some odd episodes that you can listen to.
Yes.
During this time of quarantine, if you haven't listened to episodes or want to do a catch up, we have about 80 episodes. I think this is episode 84 or 5 that we're publishing. So definitely go back to our back catalog. That can definitely help kill a lot of time if you need.
It's true.
Kill some time.
We're here for you.
And let us know, what are your comfort movies? Tell us what you're watching, what's bringing you joy right now.
And what kind of content would you guys like us to bring you, since we don't know how long we'll have to do these weird video ones. So yeah.
Definitely send us ideas. We'd, whatever you want to see, we'll try to help do.
Phoebe's so cute.
Yeah, look
So
at her.
Sam is holding her cat.
But
Those
she's adorable.
beautiful eyes.
Dame Webby Dench. Here she is.
All right. Well, thanks for listening to Butter with That. Like Dave said, just please stay safe, stay quarantined, and
stay home.
Yeah, don't go out.
Don't fucking go out.
And
There's
if you
so
want
many
to,
movies, catch up.
Yeah.
a lot to watch. Cool. Well, be sure to follow us on at Butter with That One on Twitter, Butter with That Facebook, Instagram, and Butter with That Podcast at gmail.com. All right. Well, have a great day, everybody.
Have a great day. Stay safe.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Take care, everybody. Stay safe. So long.
Bye.